Today we're going to be talking about Zephyr CLT and sample number 10. And we're going to be explaining what level we have on the sample and also if it's CLT applicable. Zephyr is an international method used to scale and see English ability. It starts from level A1 to level C2. A1 being for beginners and C2 being people that are able to explain, understand, and speak grammatically correct. So I'm going to be talking about Zephyr, as Zephyr is a common European framework of reference for languages, and it's actually a method used to grade and scale language ability. And this time being the English language, you have 6 different skills. You start from A1 to C2, and A1 being for beginners actually, so people that just can speak a little bit of words in the English language, and C2 being for people that are proficient in the language. This method was made actually for people to be able to measure the English ability and English understanding in a global scale. Yes, so Zephyr levels are also very useful for teachers because they can use the Zephyr methods to see how they can educate the pupils a bit more on their level in the classes. And it's very important for them so they can work towards being going from A1 levels to, for example, B2 levels of B1 levels at the end of the year, because then you can just help the children get to a different level by seeing what you have to be able to do to get from the one level to the other one. So I'm going to be talking about sample 10, and together with my colleague we thought that it's on level A2 because it's a basic level, and also because it came from a book that is very simple and understandable, so it highly is going to be for kids. I'm going to show you guys, for example, this page. I'm going to do it like this for the contrast. So this page, you see the family tree, and then it's going to be very simple for kids to be able to explain or write down who their parents are and a family. So it's very basic English writing and understanding.
We'll be explaining a bit about CLT. CLT stands for Communicative Language Teaching. Communicative language teaching is a method used by teachers to learn their learners a language in a way that the language is actually useful for them. Communicative language teaching uses methods like taking examples from the perspective of their learners. For example, if they're very interested in music, they will take examples from their favorite music to teach them a certain subject, so the learners can relate to the subject, so it will be more interesting for them. And CLT is also very much about learners being able to actually use their language instead of just learning standard textbook lines, so they will be able to hold a proper conversation when they are abroad and know what their conversational partner has to say instead of just guessing what they might be telling them. And I hope to have informed you enough about CLT. Now, I chose for this vlog is sample number 10, which is from the method of stepping stones. And we personally decided that is not very applicable for CLT, simply because most of the exercises in the sample don't ask for a lot of input from the learners themselves, and it's also very laid out for them what to do, and it's just standard conversations. For example, I have here an exercise from the sample, which is asking about someone, who they are, and instead of making an exercise like tell your conversational partner where you live, what's your name, what's your surname, things like that, they asked for just to connect the question with the right answer, and that doesn't really ask for a lot of imagination from the learners themselves, so therefore it's not very CLT applicable.
English is a very important language, and it's becoming more important because if you can see the YouTube videos people make are mostly in English, and the songs, and a lot of people use the language to communicate to other people that are not Dutch, for example, if I can pick that language right now. And it's also important to know the English language because it's an international language, and it's also a language that is growing and becoming, you know, a very important language in all other countries. And it's going to be very nice that everyone can communicate to others being abroad.
And last but not least, the status of English in the Dutch educational system. We think that English is a very, very important subject in the Dutch educational system, mostly because a lot of the world these days is becoming very, very international, and English is still the most important language. And a lot of students, when you get older, want to study abroad, want to go for a year to England or to America or to Canada, and you need to know the language in order to be able to study. Higher education courses are also in English these days, so in order to be able to follow them, you have to have a proper base to be able to do that. And therefore, it's just a very, very important subject.